I gave up my family business to be Avery's agent for 8 years, and for those 8 years, I was also her secret lover. Every year for 8 years, I proposed to Avery, only to be decisively rejected each time. But on the day of the Stellar Frame Awards ceremony, Avery publicly announced her engagement to another man. Thanks to Brian's care over the years, I've achieved the success I have today. I've decided to marry him in 3 days, she said. After saying that, Avery shot me a warning glance from the corner of her eye. I fell silent, deep in thought for a moment, then dialed my mother's number. Mom, I'm done playing around. I'll take your advice and go back to run the family business. On the other end of the line, my mother sounded as happy as a child. What about the girl our family arranged for you? I glanced at Avery and Brian, who were kissing on stage, and said, sure, 3 days from now is a good day. Let's set it for then. My mother was momentarily stunned by my response, but after countless rejections from me over the years, her surprise quickly turned to joy. She cheerfully hung up the phone and began bustling around to arrange my wedding. As Avery walked down from the stage arm in arm with Brian, I was looking at the wedding venue my mother had just sent me. Avery snatched my phone and, after glancing at the content, immediately laughed. Dennis, you're really becoming more thoughtful. Now's the perfect time to check venues. Otherwise, Brian and I might not have everything ready for our wedding in 3 days. Brian leaned in and gave Avery a kiss on the cheek. He patted me on the shoulder and said, brother, thank you for taking care of Avery all these years. I can see you've done a great job. From now on, it's my responsibility. With that, he took Avery's hand and led her away to an interview. I looked down at the phone Avery had just tossed into my hands, a bitter feeling rising in my chest. As I was about to leave, a message from Avery popped up on the screen. Leave first and wait for me at the villa. Watch your expressions, don't let something this small make you lose face in public. If the paparazzi catch anything, I won't forgive you. Out of habit, I pulled a mirror from my bag, checked my expression, and forced myself to smile before quickly leaving the venue. I circled the villa several times, before finally daring to go inside. When the old clock in the living room struck 12, Avery stumbled in, reeking of alcohol. As soon as she saw me, she threw herself into my arms, whining, Dennis, I'm so exhausted today. Can you make me some hangover soup? Love you. The overwhelming scent of men's cologne on her made me feel nauseous. I pushed her off me and said, I'm a bit tired too. I don't feel like moving. Hearing this, Avery shot up from the couch like a spring. She raised her hand and slapped me hard across the left cheek, then pointed at me and screamed, her voice cracking, Dennis, what's your problem? Didn't I already message you and explain everything? I told you not to let something this minor make you lose face. What's with your attitude now? I pulled up the message Avery had sent me hours ago and held it in front of her. Avery, is this what you call an explanation? Before I could finish, she slapped the phone out of my hand, her emotions flaring even more intensely. Dennis, wasn't focusing on the career first something we decided together? Do I really need to explain how marketable the perfect housewife image is right now? My marriage to Brian is just for publicity, for the sake of my career. And you, being this petty, do you even count as a man? You're disgusting. After saying her piece, Avery slammed the door and stormed out. I got up and looked at my swollen left cheek in the mirror, a bitter smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. 8 years of love, and even a fake marriage for publicity, couldn't be mine. I raised my hand and slapped my right cheek hard, a blow to remind myself, never again to be such a spineless fool chasing after someone who didn't care. After washing up, I had barely lain down on the bed when I received a message from my mother, Denny, I was so happy today that I forgot to tell you something. Over the years, we've spent quite a lot supporting that little actress by your side. Next month, we were supposed to invest in a show for her. Now that you're no longer involved, should the company still go ahead with it? I stared at the empty villa for a moment before replying, wait for my decision. With only a few days left, I didn't want to create any more complications. After listening to my mother ramble on about wedding details, I drifted off into a deep sleep. The next morning, before I was fully awake, I heard the sound of people moving things downstairs. I got dressed and went down, only to see Avery holding Brian's hand as they entered. Outside, a group of movers in company uniforms bustled about in the yard. As soon as Avery saw me coming down the stairs, she frowned and hissed under her breath, there are people here. What are you doing downstairs? Get back upstairs, now. Seeing the movers about to come into the house, I turned and walked a few steps back up the stairs, hiding myself out of sight. Asterisk. Scenes like this had become routine over the years, but this villa was the place Avery and I had chosen for our private moments, so I had let my guard down. Soon, the movers left, and Avery called up to me from downstairs, come out. I need to talk to you. From now on, Brian and I will be living here. Her words left me stunned. Losing my balance, I tumbled down the stairs. As I picked myself up, I looked at Avery's calm expression and asked, you and Brian living here? The three of us staying together doesn't seem very convenient. Avery glanced at my disheveled state and exchanged a look with Brian before laughing. What are you thinking? It's just Brian and me living here. You're moving out. I pointed at myself, utterly incredulous, staring at Avery in disbelief. Move out? Move where? And what does it even mean for you and Brian to live here? I asked, my voice sharp with disbelief. Avery's expression shifted to irritation as she replied, just rent an apartment or something, can't you? What does it mean? It means we're a couple, obviously. Next month, Grand Prosperity Group is investing in a film, and I'm going to be the lead actress. I need to promote my devoted wife image. It's urgent, so you're moving out tonight. Without sparing me another glance, she turned to Brian with a gentle smile. Brian, hurry up and move our things in. Once he's gone, we'll invite a few close media outlets over for a preview. As Brian walked past me carrying a suitcase, he flashed a smug smile. Brother, learn to be more sensible. Avery's been supporting you for the past 8 years. You should know when to read the room, Brian said, his tone dripping with condescension. I turned to Avery with a questioning look, only to see her casually fiddling with her new watch as she chimed in, Brian's right. These years, whether it's at home or outside, haven't I been the one holding everything together? The sooner you wise up, the better. What are you still standing there for? Go pack your things already. I turned and headed upstairs. As soon as I got there, a message from Avery popped up on my phone, just pack a few things, don't bring too much, or it'll attract attention. Be careful. If the reporters catch wind of this, you can forget about ever having a chance with me again.